Welcome to Scytl Poll Worker Management. Today we are going to look at one of the key time-saving features of the PWM system. Predictive staffing. Using historical voter turnout data, combined with organization-specific staffing requirements, the PWM predictive staffing module predicts the number of staff required to fill election day schedules on a location-by-location basis. The first step to utilizing this tool is to create calculation types. Calculation types can be found under Administration, then Workforce Scheduler, then Predictive Staffing, then Calculation Types. On this screen you'll be presented with all of the types you currently have set up in the PWM system. Each type can be viewed or edited from this screen. To create a new calculation type, select Create from the top right corner of the screen. Complete the fields as required and select Save. The next step is to create a staffing calculation, or rule that is used to predict the number of staff required on each location schedule. Staffing calculations can be found under Administration, then Workforce Scheduler, then Predictive Staffing, then Staffing Calculation. You can now select a calculation type from the Calculation Type drop-down list box and an election event which will populate Add Row button. Position. Select the position for which the calculation formula will be created. Multiple calculation formulas can apply to the same position by adding multiple rows with the same position. The start range and end range fields define the number of people the rule will apply to. The generation type has two options: fixed or calculated. Fixed means that the same number of staff will be required for a position regardless of the number of voters as long as the number of voters fall within the defined range. Calculated means that the number of staff will be defined based on the number of voters within the range. Repeat and maximum staff fields are used to define the number of staff for both generation types. Repeat is only used for the calculated generation type and defines the point at which to add another staff member. The maximum staff value determines the maximum number of staff members for the position within the defined range. Next, we need to tell the system the number of registered voters in polling area. To input this data, select Administration, then Workforce Scheduler, then Predictive Staffing, then Historical Data. Select the appropriate calculation type, event and ward. Now, you'll be able to enter the number of registered voters in that specific area. Repeat this process for each voting area in the event and save as you go. Lastly, we need to add historical turnout percentages, which is found under Administration, then Workforce Scheduler, then Predictive Staffing, then Turnout Percentage. Select the appropriate calculation type and election, and a list will be populated with all of the voting areas you have set up in the PWM system. Enter the historical turnout percentages accordingly, and press View Breakdown to see your staffing requirements in that area. Congratulations! Your predictive scheduling calculations are complete and you're ready to build schedules for each voting location. Please refer to how-to videos under Scheduling for predictive scheduling and creating and broadcasting schedule templates.